Well, good morning. Hi, guys. Um, it's so good to be with you this morning, this wonderful Thursday coming up on the weekend. And I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk with you today about the subject of trust. And what actually brought this about is one of my favorite hymns called "'Tis So Sweet to Trust in Jesus." And it's been a favorite hymn of mine since I was young and in church. And it still is a favorite even to this day. It's one that I will sometimes wake up and it's just in my heart and I'll hum it. Or sometimes I go to bed and lay down and the words come to my mind. And I just think it's a really special song. But if we're real, trusting is not an easy thing because it is taking control from ourselves and putting it into someone else, in this case in the hands of Jesus. And that's not always an easy thing, is it? But when I think about this hymn, one of my favorite things to do is to look at the stories behind hymns and what inspired the writer to pen it. And in this case, a lady named Louisa Steed and her husband and daughter were going out for a picnic one day. And they went out to the Long Island Sound and they were setting up their picnic and on the shore and getting ready for just a beautiful day when they started to hear screams. And as they looked out into the water, they saw a little boy and he was out there screaming and he was drowning. And Mr. Steed took off running and dove into the water as, Louisa and their daughter Lily stood by. And he jumped in and grabbed hold of the boy. But sadly, the current and the waves took them both down and they both died. And so, man, what a hard thing. And from there, her life didn't get a lot easier. That left her poor and destitute. She dealt with illness. But you know what? God was faithful to her. And the words to this hymn reflect that trust in Jesus, that she learned to trust him. Actually, the last words in the fourth stanza, she says, "I am so glad I learned to trust him, precious Jesus, Savior, friend, and I know that he is with me and will be with me to the end." And man, that just chokes me up just about every time. But what precious words that she learned to trust Jesus even more through those hard times instead of turning her back. And it reminds me of the story of the disciples who were in the boat with Jesus out on the sea, and the big storm came and was tossing the boat to and fro, and they were afraid, and they were wondering, where is Jesus? We need Jesus. And sure enough, he was on the boat, but he was asleep. How many times does it feel like we're in the midst of waves and storms, and it just feels like the waves keep coming? And this year in particular, with COVID and lockdowns and loss of jobs, and then with the elections and this side and that side and riots and the economy, and there's just so much that it seems like just the waves keep coming, and it doesn't stop there, because in a lot of people's lives there's continued to be other waves, whether it's been sickness or a diagnosis or a loss of a job, a loss of a loved one. It goes on, and I imagine that those types of waves that just keep coming can make one feel like they're going down. And but as the disciples ran into Jesus, they found him sleeping, and he woke up. They woke him up, and he said to them, you of little faith. And he wasn't doing it in a harsh way, because he didn't say you of no faith. He said you of little faith. And so that was a learning opportunity for them, just like it was for Louisa in her life, an opportunity to learn to trust Jesus more. As the commentator Albert Barnes said, he penned it as if Jesus were saying, "Why are you fearful? You should have remembered that the Son of God, the Messiah, was on board. You should not have forgotten that he has power to save and that with him you are safe. So Christians should never fear danger, disease, or death. With Jesus, they are safe." And just how amazing that is. Friends, we go through so much in this life. Some of us more than others, and that can even in and of itself seem a little unfair. But I would challenge you today, as I do even myself, in the trying to figure things out, trying to know this, trying to do that, trying to make this decision or that, trying to wrap our brains around things, trying to make sense of all the things going on. Most of it is out of our control. And so that's when we have an opportunity to turn our trust to Jesus, to look to him and allow him to speak to our souls, to calm our storms, because he will. He will give us peace beyond understanding when we turn to him. And the cool thing is that he is with us. He never leaves us. He never forsakes us. And so we have opportunity to learn more of his joy, more of his peace, more of his faithfulness and provision. And I just think that's a pretty cool thing when we choose to turn our eyes and say, God, I don't get it. I don't understand, but I'm choosing to trust you. We get the opportunity every day to learn to trust him more and more. So that's my prayer for us today. Let's turn our eyes to Jesus. Let's learn to trust him more. I hope your day is a great one. I hope you have a beautiful weekend as well, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.